Hi, welcome to Video Games Revisited. Today we're going to be taking a look at Solaris on the Atari 2600. Solaris is a 1986 space shooter and is quite possibly the nicest looking Atari 2600 game I've come across. As you can see, the third person position you take behind the ship looks fantastic, and this is where you'll spend the majority of the game. And I'm surprised the 2600 can cope with such a feature in a game and pull it off so well. When you're travelling across the surface of a planet, you can see craters and a variety of other bits just whizzing past you, and it really adds a great feeling of speed, especially as you can kind of see the gradient of the planet as it fades off into the background and adds a quasi 3D feel of perspective. And when you're in space, it's a similar story. You have shaded planets of all kinds of shapes and sizes flying at you, and this gives a great feel of travelling through like an asteroid belt in space and adds a lot of intensity to the game. When you do finally stop dodging asteroids in space, it'll generally be because you've entered a part of space with enemies that will need clearing out for you to proceed. And the combat is equally impressive. It's not uncommon to see half a dozen enemies on screen at once, moving about rapidly and even coming out from a distance quite far away from you and whizzing past your ship to take another shot at you. Due to the speed they move and the fact that they can be sat quite a distance from you, it does become quite difficult at times to tell when you can actually hit an enemy and when you're aiming straight at it. Thankfully, a radar has been included at the bottom of the screen to give you a rough guide of exactly where your crosshairs are pointed. However, Solaris is far from a one-trick pony with respects to its combat, and as you travel through space you'll come across a variety of enemies with different characteristics and attacks, and different situations you'll find yourself in. For example, certain planets you'll have to rescue friendly Federation members, or simply defend them from the aliens that are invading this planet. If you rescue Federation members, you're rewarded with an extra life, but if the planet is destroyed, the screen will begin rapidly flashing red and the controls will be reversed, making life a lot harder for yourself while you're in this quadrant, meaning you really are rewarded for playing well. Earlier in this review I used the phrase travelling through space, and that's genuinely what it feels like when playing through Solaris. And I say this for a couple of reasons. Firstly, the game isn't just a randomly strung together series of events that you get as you pass through space. You're provided with a tactical map, which shows you the section of space you're in, which parts are passable, and where enemies and certain events are positioned in this particular quadrant. In fact, you'll actually use up a limited amount of fuel you can carry as you travel through the galaxy, meaning you have to strategically stop at different planets to top up on fuel as you go, and this helps give an epic feel to the galaxy they've created here, and makes exploring it a lot of fun. And as fans of modern equivalents of such a game will agree, an adventure through space can only be a certain amount of fun without little story and information about this foreign world. Which brings me nicely to my second point about what makes Solaris so special in respects of it being an adventure. The game has a story and a quest and a definitive ending to it, and also a certain amount of lore has been created by the developers that really does a lot for the game. The aim of the game is to fight your way to the planet Solaris, and on your way there you'll have to take on waves of Xylon invaders and also coggle on star pirates. A quick flick through the instruction book will give a lot more information on this universe and the different entities at play, and I just think it's refreshing to see a game where it's got a carefully considered story in there, and not just a quick bolted on story that could have been made up by anybody that's present in such games like Forest that I've covered previously. Overall, Solaris is a fantastic action-packed adventure game and a spiritual predecessor to games like Mass Effect that create their own universe and set you off to just explore and have a lot of fun in the world they've created for you. So fans of the genre should really hunt themselves down a copy and give it a go. I'm sure you won't be disappointed. But that's it for now. Take care, and I'll see you next time.